Hey everybody, it's Texas Stroker here. It is, as you should be able to see in your bottom left-hand, right-hand corner, a little before midnight here on Tuesday night. So this is going to be the video that you see here at 9 a.m. Gonna try to crank this out quick. I'm super tired, but also super excited, and this is stuff I kind of think you should know about. So we're just gonna jump right into it. If you were unaware, over this weekend, a couple of big things happened. Most notably, in the side of German Tools, you've got a whole bunch of new stuff from Wera. Just out of the blue on Sunday, you know, it kind of coincides with their announcements in Germany. They've just released a ton of cool stuff for everybody, and it's imperative that you know about it now because some of this stuff is in stock. That's right, not coming, but actually in stock, ready to ship at KC Tool. So if you want it, if you want to jump on it and get it before they sell out, or you have to wait for the next shipment, now would be the only time to do that. So I'm also going to cover the advent calendars. We're going to do that at the end. That way, if you already have yours, or if you know about them, or you don't want to spoil them, you don't even have to waste your time. Again, timestamps, I guess I'll put them down below, even though that just cuts into my sleep. First thing first, though, is not Wera. It is Knipex. That's right. Part number 8700100. This is the mini Cobra, the XS Cobra, we should say, but it's the holiday edition. So basically, think of this as Knipex Advent Calendar. Super simple. It's an ornament. You can, of course, reuse the ornament every year. You can put something in it. You can put cash in it, whatever you want to do. But if, for whatever reason, you do not have the Cobra XS, this is a great way to get it. You also get sort of like the novelty thing. I guess it's good for collectors as well. And again, the real perk of this set, if you don't already have this, you get the Cobras, but then you can use the ornament every year, as I mentioned. So similarly, if you have one and a coworker, friend, relative, family members, I was like, man, I wish I had some of those. Great way to get it for them. So just real quick, we'll kind of look at these. You can kind of see, and also that would be the box. And here's another side panel of the box. Here's the ornament. And then the way it's going to be packaged is actually pretty nice. And again, picture in future years, you could throw 20 bucks, whatever your family does. You could put other small EDC stuff in there conceivably. You could pull the foam and fit larger items. But this is also in stock. This was just announced, and if you want it, you can jump on it now and have one shipped to your door. So coming up next, this is just kind of an overview here. We're going to go into more detail on some, skim over the rest of it. So this goodness gracious that you're going to see here is pretty much everything from this point up. The textile storage case, which a lot of people, that would be under your radar, but if you've got a set or you're working to build a set of the self-setting jokers, there is in fact a textile case for those. I know a lot of people jumped on them as they became available and released. There's that. Everything above this, though, is what we're interested in. And what I'm not going to spend a ton of time on is the torque wrenches. You can see the specs here. Number one, these aren't in stock. Number two, either set or it's going to be a high-end item for you and you're going to want it and you're going to place it on order type of a thing. And note that you have the standard configurations, and then you're going to have basically an SAE and a metric set. And again, we're not going to spend a ton of time there, so we can focus more on this stuff. Now, this is, I think this may be the first time they've done deep half-inch drive impacts. I haven't really kept up with it. Long ago, we got a set of shallows. I felt like it started with a 10, maybe it didn't. It was half-inch drive, little impact sockets. Coolest thing on these is the Take It Easy tool finder. So not only do you have, the laser etchings, but you've got the colors. I know that seems stupid to some people, but if you're invested heavily in the Wera lineup, it's actually really efficient, especially if you've got like younger forced labor, i.e. your children. Type of a thing, and the colors. If you need the 24, you're like, hey, get me the sky blue one, and your daughter runs and she grabs you the sky blue socket. So that's assuming the 24 is like etched off or something, or they just prefer colors. They respond better to that than numbers, who knows. 176 is the price point there. Again, it'll be a textile case. This one is a little bit different than the one I had. That was like the clip-on style. This one's actually going to be a foldable case. This is currently the only image, but I think if you're familiar with Wera products, you can picture that kind of folding up, likely having Velcro on it. Sockets have been good. I've used them quite a bit. Only knock, if you had one, these are made in Taiwan. There's a ton of sockets that I use that are made in Taiwan. I'm sure you're the same way with impact sockets, most of you. But it is something to denote there. Again, you do have some skips here. That's important. You start at 13. You got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 24, 27. So that's kind of where it starts, where it goes, right? You can supplement it looks like, and that's all we're going to cover there. So moving on, this is the bike tool, and I know a ton of you are super into like bikes and might be interested in this item. Here's sort of a exploited view. If you're thinking, hey, this kind of looks familiar, it's because they had something similar to this where they had the tire levers with sort of the Wera design. This is sort of similar to that, but with a little added functionality. So note the price, $42.50. Not on sale. It's going to be set 15. There's 5 pieces here. And essentially what we've got, you got 2 tire levers here with bit mounting. You've got this tire lever with bit mounting. I'm not quite sure on the differences there. It'll probably tell us down below. There's a 4-in-1 metric hex, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then there is a 4-in-1 here with Torx. That's going to be a 2.55 and a T25. So coming down, this is what we want to read because it'll sort of explain this best to us. Enormous space saving and make it perfect for mobile use, which I would hope, that's kind of the target goal there, I suppose. 9504 has a 1/4-inch mounting for 1/4-inch bit, right? So you can kind of see that somewhere in that region. When both the 9504 levers are stacked together, a 4-in-1 bit can be inserted and you get a screw driving tool. So I assume that this would be this guy, and you can put them together, and then it's sort of like creates, if you will, a screwdriver handle, kind of sandwiching this, sort of like looks like it probably plugs together type of a thing. And that allows you to use, obviously, the 4-sided bit, which is nice. 9505 lever, which is going to be this guy right here. We can tell by the different shape. It is not hexed profile if you're familiar with Schrader valves or Presta or inflate a lot of bike tires. 9505 can be used to remove Presta valve cores and as a bleeder for automotive valves. And then the levers and 4-in-1 bits can be clipped together so that everything is compact and nothing will be lost. So again, I know that'll be high on the list for some of you, and you can just throw it in the bag on your bike and go to town, clip it under the seat, whatever you do. It's going to be small enough you can make it happen. All right, up next. Now, this is interesting timing because yours truly was considering getting an impact driver. What was I looking at? I was looking at a Proto that was on sale, really good sale, mind you, and the Coke Attack. Those are kind of the 2 routes I had ultimately decided to go. Wouldn't be telling you any of this if this hadn't come into the equation. Now, if you recall from our early Wera preview, you probably saw several sets with yellow. This is not a set. This is a standalone tool. Note that it's in stock. Not many of them. Okay, sub 10 right now. So it's got the craft form handle. If you're used to their chisel drivers, this is kind of the color scheme, black and yellow, that you're accustomed to. Now, when I hover over this, number 1, that's showing your manufacturer 2021. Kind of makes you wonder if they've been sitting on these things for a while, had them out testing with employees or some select group of individuals around the world. But you'll note there's some stuff going on. You got the arrows lining up, lock and unlock. And you're thinking, okay, strange. What's the deal here? Well, we'll come to this image, and you just kind of get a better look. You can see it's going to hold some bits. Now, let's take a look at the description here. Wera 921 craft form plus impact screwdriver for loosening stubborn screw connections. Again, it is an impact driver. Manual impact wrench function can be switched on and off. Okay, so if I turn this to off, where it is right now, we can basically just use this as their chisel driver, but the perk is you could change bits. Well, right now, if I've got a chisel driver with a striking cap and it's slotted and it's the only one I have, that's what I'm stuck with. I can't, switch over to a Phillips bit because it's not interchangeable. If you have this and you have bits and you're using slotted because you're like busting staples free, which is what I'm doing, and then I'm thinking like, man, I wish I had a Phillips, striking cap driver. There's a seized Phillips head over here. Swap the bit, start whacking it. The other thing you can do, though, It's not just for the impact. This is going to be a deal where it will rotate. So when you unlock it, when you go from me like using it to drive underneath staples and pry them free, we switch our bit over to Phillips and we unlock it. Okay. Now, when we hammer the backside, it's going to change it to rotary movement, and it will have an approximate loosening torque of 25 Newton meters. So the reversible functions, it can be the impact wrench or the standalone screwdriver, and it's going to combine the advantage of both with the pound through blade. Overall length, this may be important to some of you, 6.4 inches. So again, 8750, pay attention to that, because right here we have the SAE set. Classic Wera, you've got your textile case. Look at all the included bits though. As you might have guessed, there's probably like 17 or so of them, because we're going to count the case as a piece and this is a piece. And let's just manually count these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, as we predicted. And look, some of you are like, they missed a bit. Well, that can be for you. If you use this almost exclusively on drum brakes or something and you need the number 3 Phillips and you want a replacement bit, slide her home. All right. So I don't think at this point in time KC Tool has the standalone bits available. They're probably going to add it. If you read Colin's email on it, he didn't even waste your time with the descriptions of the tools. He just said, go. Sent the link and he was done, right? So very understandable. I'm thinking that stuff will probably be added pretty soon, but let's take a look at what's included. So keep in mind, this is the SAE. Okay, first thing first, we're up to $137.50. Come over here, we're at $87.50. So you do the math and you get $50. We're spending $50 extra to get the textile case and 17 bits. So what are the bits? Let's take a look. 851 Phillips, we've got 1, 2, and 3 there. Looks like an overall length of 70 on almost everything here. Square, so our Canadian friends are covered. You got a 1, 2, and a 3 there. Then in torques, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 40. Wish there was a 50. Granted, we have a loop there, so maybe we can do it if they have it available. Then we come in and we've got Hex Plus. This is kind of a cool deal because it's Hex. It's not just standard Hex. This is the Hex Plus profile people love. 1/8, 5/32, 3/16, and quarter. Again, if you're like, man, I wish that was 5/16, that'd be awesome for what I do. If the blade is available, factor that into your purchasing decision. Slotted, you've got the 4.0 and 5.5. It'd be nice if they, since this is the Imperial version, you know, we had like the SAE equivalents there. You know, just gonna throw that idea out there. Then you got the case, the strip, and the case. So for loosening, stubborn connections, blah blah blah, you get the idea. The specs on the actual tool don't change, but right here you see the number 2 Phillips loaded up, and I'm assuming that would be a magnetic connection. We don't really have any information on that. That's about all I'm seeing. I don't know that looks like it would be slide up, quick release, anything. I think it must just be a standard conventional chuck it up and, you know, magnetize type of a hole. Totally could be wrong there, but there's no mention of it, so I'm just gonna run with what it looks like. Now, most of you are probably like, oh, this idiot and his Phillips screws and squares, what a waste, and who uses, you know, standard hex stuff? Well, you would be metric, and this would be for you. Same price, you're going up 50, 19 pieces. Again, assuming this stock art, which is not, this is the SAE one, we'll just come right down here. And in this case, you still get the Phillips, but the square has been replaced with posi drive. I would venture to guess that there are some of you that would be interested in the Phillips, you know, and whatnot, that would actually prefer the posi drive over square, because again, for me personally, outside of a few like drain plugs and stuff, which these are not near big enough for, I mainly just have square stuff on window screens. Everyone's going to have something different, but, you know, posi drive is taking the place here of your square in the SAE or Imperial set. Looks like your Torx is the same. The Hex Plus, obviously different. You got 3, 4, 5, 6, and just 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I was going to say 7 there. Slotted, it looks like you have the exact same thing. 4, 5, 5, and 6, 5. And then the case. So we're going to come in now, and this is kind of where you're at. So If you're a person and you want to utilize this solely for the number 3 Phillips, my advice for you would be to get this as a standalone tool and then add that bit. Unless that bit is $50 or, you know, halfway there type of a thing, you're going to come out on top. Then you can add to it if you want to. The problem is I currently don't have a clue what the bits are going to cost. We can assume based on this set, again, you're getting 17 bits and the case. We'll give the case as $10. That knocks it down to $127. So 17 bits going into $40. If we just eliminate the case and stick with 50, 17 bits into 50, that's almost $3 a bit, which is not what they're going to cost, I wouldn't think. But it gives you an idea. You could bank on $5 per bit, and you're probably going to cover yourself, right? And just think, okay, hey, I want the big slotted, and I want the number 3, and I probably ought to get the number 2 Phillips just in case. Well, then you'd bank on spending around $15 and say, hey, I'm going to do that. If it's a situation where you're like, oh, you know, I'd really like the 2 and 3 square and, you know, get me these hex sizes, or you want to intermingle hex sizes, sky's the limit. I'm sure the case will eventually become available standalone, so you want to hodgepodge your own stuff together. Sky's the limit, but again, these are your 3 options right now. That's why we're covering them. So now we're getting to the good stuff, the really good stuff. Now, like I said, I am legit interested in the impact driver. I'm debating what route to go there. Like I mentioned to you, I was leaning between Peroto and Koken, and I wasn't sure which route I was going to go. Now I have to consider this as a candidate. So choices are fantastic. I will never complain. This is what really caught my eye, and I think it's probably what caught the eye of an awful lot of you as well. This takes the beloved Cyclop. Okay, this is going to be their rotating ratchet, which I still, literally, even now, even like coming videos that are stacked 10 or 15 in the future, I still don't have one. Okay, and this would be my gateway drug into that world, and it's probably something I'm going to do. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the Cyclop. This is the SAE note. I'm starting with SAE because it's what I would use the most. So I've got the metric people covered in the next tab. Fear not. This is something pretty interesting, though. So take the classic James Bond driver that they sell, pop out bit carousel down here, right? Got all your bits, take it easy tool finder, super easy. You know, you're going to have your metric and your hexes and everything like that. And then right here, it's the roto head, okay? And if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, well, that's a funky looking bit holder. We'll get to that in a second. We will get to that in a second. So actually this spoils it. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, this is a 13-piece set. Obviously the tool plus, I'm assuming 12 pieces in there. And if you read that, 3/8 sockets and 1/4" hex bits, and you're like thinking like, oh, it's got some stupid adapter in there. Where is it? Like the center of the barrel? Must be, because I don't see it here. Or is it that thing? Well, take a close look with me here. The tip of this tool, which I cannot get magnified for you for some reason. Let me come in here, and it's just not going to happen. Right at the edge here, that is a 3/8 square drive. And if you think, hey, that looks like it's hollowed out, well, it is hollowed out, and it's hollowed out in a hex profile. So this is kind of like an ultimate 2-in-1 situation, where if you want to put your 3/8 sockets on there, you can totally do that. But it will also hold bits. You know, if you sit there and you think, hey, you know, 3/8 is my go-to, and all my bits are 1/4. Yeah, you can kind of see the brilliance of this product. You know, there's something, like I always tell you, Wera's kind of like the crazy uncle of the German tools. They sit there and they come up with crazy ideas, and then they actually make them. And it's a deal where sometimes you're like, oh, this is really cool, but you can't find a practical application for it, or you like the turbo, you know, super awesome thing. And it's great for people that probably deal with terminal blocks all the time. But if you're just like a tool enthusiast and you actually use the tools, it's not just for collection purposes, it's not very often that you'll actually get to like reap the full reward of that tool's potential. This is something, it's going to be funky, and it's going to take some getting used to. Like, people aren't accustomed to being able to just have a 3/8 drive ratchet. You can throw a bit in the end of it, right? How many times are you on a job and you have to rotate, you know, from a ratchet and socket combination to a bit driver or a standalone driver of some sort, be it Torx, Phillips, slotted, what have you. This is like the one all end all bit driver, ratchet for like almost every job that you probably ever do. So let's take a gander at it. 13-piece set, both 3/8 sockets, 1/4-inch hex bits without the use of an adapter. That's the crazy thing. In the case of this SAE set, cannot stress this enough, SAE set, you get Phillips 1 and 2. Note they're 25mm bits. You get squares 1 and 2, so Canadians are covered. In Torx land, you get T10, 15, 20, and 25. And in your old school hex, 1/8, 5/32, 3/16, and 1/4. All right, now let's read the details here. I'm learning this with you as I go, because I'm on time crunches. So, freely swiveling ratchet head, predefined positions of 0, 15, and 90 degrees, can be used as a conventional screwdriver in the 0-degree position. Magnetic direct mounting. I assume that is for the bit and the sockets. Now the sockets, I don't know that there's a ball detent, we cannot see, but I am assuming that those sockets, which we know they're on opposing sides, I don't know if there's a third, I would assume not, or it would likely be equilateral here, so I'm thinking the sockets must be held on in that manner. Could be wrong. Again, I don't have the tools here. It's fine-toothed 5-degree return angle. That's going to tell us we probably have 72 teeth. Multi-component craft form handle for fatigue-free working. That is something. This is not going to be like the profile of a conventional screwdriver. This is going to be more like the profile you would have at the end of a torque wrench, essentially, if you just study the geometry of the handle. So again, cannot comment on it until I get to try it out. Let's see here. Captive freely swiveling magazine with 12 bits integrated in the handle. Overall length in the closed position is going to be 5.25, so a little bit shorter than our impact driver. Now, this is what had intrigued me. At first glance, I'm sure like many of you are probably thinking, I was assuming this arrow would probably pop this sucker out and extend it. I don't think that happens. I realize there could be like artwork that's not uploaded or not visible, or it's a surprise to everyone. But since that arrow points down, I'm inclined to say that you slide it down and your bottom bit carousel pops out. It would be absolutely insane if they integrated this thing to have, you know, like there's a lever here that goes down for the bit carousel, and on the other opposing flat there's a lever that goes up and the head pops out and extends, even if it was just like 3 to 6 inches. You know, we'll settle for 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be all that it is. You know, my initial thoughts, again, you know, when I saw this crit on the weekend, I was like, whoa. You know, I was thinking that would happen. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be for the bits. So, coming in now, remember that price, $137.50. When we come over here, I've got you metric people covered. We got $137.50, same price, same bit count. You're going to have Phillips 1 and 2. You get Posi Drive 1 and 2. Again, some of you, it's going to come down like, do you use metric or SAE hex? And then if you don't use square but you want Posi, you'll just have to get the bits and swap them out, which you can totally do. They're all look to be standard size bits, nothing crazy, which is great because, quite frankly, like if this required, say, like a special 40mm bit, you know, you're going to get some, you're probably going to buy this set, but you're never going to go in and just be able to drop in a standard bit, and that's going to suck. So I like that they didn't do anything proprietary or stupid like Apple might have done. It's just going to be a deal. You can use these if you lose your number 2 Phillips or you burn it out and you don't have time to order one. You can throw in a bit of thanks when you bought the thing and you're home free. You know, no, don't have the cool Take It Easy tool finder on it, but you should be okay. It's also amazing that those would be 25. They look like they'd be longer than that, but we shall see. Again, I can't like speak finitely on any of this because I've never experienced it in person in hand. But your hex size is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, Posi Drive and hex, that's going to be your main difference between these two. Nothing else special there that we need to see. But when we click over, sorry. There is no like blank one. You can't just like populate it. So you're looking at 137.50 SAE or metric. And then this is what's crazy. And if you're thinking like, I'm going to buy this metric one right now, hold your horses. Hold your horses. 137.50. When I click this will be SAE, but it's going to be the same thing. You'll note it's 130. So I don't know if just this has the promotion, or if it's a misprint and it doesn't really have a promotion, but as of right now, me recording this, it's 32% off, so it should be $191 MSRP, but you're getting it for actually $7.50 less than what you just looked at. And you're thinking like, okay, what do they cut out? Well, in the case of this SAE deal, 1 and 2 Phillips, 1 and 2 square, T10 through 25, same hex bits, and then you're like, okay, well, what else is going on here? We went from 13 to 18. Well, here's the deal. You're adding a textile case, you're adding this adapter, and you're adding 3 sockets, 5/16, 3/8, and 1/2 inch in this case. Would be cool to maybe have seen the quarter, but hey, it is what it is. This basically turns it into like a screwdriver, nut driver combo with an extension. Okay, let's see here. So if we come down here, textile tool holster. They don't actually spec this stuff out. Maybe they will down here. With 1 universal bit holder, stainless steel sleeve, and strong permanent magnet. So that's going to be this guy. It'll plug in the end, and that's stainless, and it's got a magnet in there, which is cool. Textile tool holster can be attached to the belt and docked onto the Wera to go system, as can pretty much anything in a textile case they make. So you're currently, if this is accurate, if this rings true, you're saving money. Note that it's not in stock though. So can you hold out to save the $7 and basically get 3 free sockets a case in this? I think most people could. Unless you're like in YouTube land trying to rush out and make videos, this is the route I would suggest you go, because you get everything that you would get for spending $7 more, but you save the $7.50 and you get 3 sockets a case and the bit holder. So this is currently, if that's accurate, the way to go. If this is not accurate, I totally apologize to KC Tool for misleading you, but I would recommend that you go this route if that price holds true. Coming in right here, you got the metric equivalent. Note, this is also not in stock, but you're saving $7.50 if the prices are accurate. They literally just put this stuff up on the site sometime after lunch today, because I was checking the site when I was eating lunch and it wasn't up yet. So I went back out in the shop, and I was next in my office around like 5:40, and I saw the email. So this is basically what you just saw with the SAE. However, we've got an 8, 10, and a 13. So same setup, of course, with your swapping the posi for Phillips and your hex bits and everything. Now, we are not done. We are so not done. We have right here something that could possibly, some people will like view this as like a gimmick, like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't really need it, especially for that money. Well, I got you covered. If you're just the basic type, this is somewhere you might come in and crank down some cash, all right? This is a wrap adapter handle, okay? You're familiar with these. You probably have one. The catch is this one ratchets. This is everything that you probably ever wanted and wish that your standard one would do, and this one does it because it ratchets. So right here, and this is in stock, not many, but they are in stock. You understand their chucks, you've seen them, I'm sure. Integrated ratchet with fine tooth ensures fast and safe working. Release lever for comfortable clockwise, counterclockwise design change. Where? Show me. Oh, wow, really? So it's up at the top. Cool. That keeps the ergonomics intact, and I love that it's recessed so you don't actually, it might kind of be a pain in the butt. I don't know until we have it. But I like that it's recessed so you don't inadvertently hit it. It doesn't ride on your palm or your fingers when you're cranking down. I am someone that actually likes T-handles. I can use I do demonstrations with my nephew where I give him a ratchet and a socket, and I take the lowly T-handle, and I can drive way faster than him. And I can drive way faster than any of you as well. And if you had the T-handle, you would go so much faster than me than I can with the ratchet and socket. It's just how it works. That's why T-handles are awesome and undersold. Now, sometimes I would want this to be in a fixed position. That would be like the perfect T-handle. It can't just be ratcheting. I need it to be in a fixed position or ratcheting. I don't know that this does that. Obviously, I want it to be fixed position when I'm just spinning in or spinning out. Now, when I'm going to tighten down, the ratcheting effect would be fine. It's a tough call there. It would be interesting to know. I love that that's the Easter egg of the logo, but I wish this had like a lockout mode where you could just go straight, no ratchet action at all. There's a good, cool look at the tooth mechanism. Looks like it's going to be 72 tooth as well, but I don't know for sure. There's a lot of action there. And given that everything else in this new launch is 72, we can assume that, but it doesn't actually spec it out. So let's take a look. Reversing lever, that's what we've tracked down. Convenient working thanks to the ratchet mechanism fully embodied in the handle. The next question is like, how bulky is this thing? Is it like a super slim profile? Like, you got to think there's like a cylindrical, gear in there, the wheel, and I don't know. Like, if it's super bulky, it doesn't look bulky in this picture. If you're curious about like the ergonomic profile, it's not that bad. If you're somebody that's old school and you're used to like the straight red plastic handles or the ones that slightly taper down off the center shaft, takes some getting used to, but it's kind of like brass knuckles, just fits your hand type of a deal. Comes in handy from time to time. Ergonomic 2-component handle with finger handle recess and pleasant feel. High power transmission, fatigue-free working. Fast rotating sleeve, so again we can assume that that's right here. And then overall length is only about 1 3/4 of an inch. So again, this is something we would just have to like have this in hand to really figure it out and appreciate it. Pay attention to the price, $72.50. Come in now, okay? And we've got a situation going where we have a bit case. This is going again, $72.50 to $147. Do the math, $75 you're paying for a textile case and all of these bits, which there's going to be, I guess, 15 of them. This is the Imperial version. Let's take a look at what we're going to get. Phillips, you get 2 and 3. Torx, T10 through 40. Hex, same thing, 8 3/4. Square 2 and 3, no number 1 square. Slotted, you're only getting the 5.5. Again, it'd be cool if they did that in SAE terms. But the catch here and the selling point here of why you might be interested in this, particularly if you don't have anything in this variety, these are not 25mm bits. Okay, these are 89mm. I've got several of them. It's typically what you pair with like the turbo. It gives you a nice, basically the equivalent to a 4-inch overall shaft. So $75 for 15 bits and the case. You make the call. Again, if you're already invested in these bits, if you bought these bits when you bought a turbo or something, get the tool, get the standalone tool, unless you want to have the ability to keep that in the case. That is the way I would personally go. Note that this is in stock if you want to go that route. Coming in over here, we have got, and you're thinking like, oh, this is the same thing, stupid. Well, $72.50 versus $72.50, and if I click back, you'll note down here, okay, bits plug in, and what is this? Oh, you say, it's a T-handle. This is like my beloved Philo stuff. You do a lot of engine work, right? You want the feel and finesse, right? Check it out. You got a ball end here. Now, this is going to be quarter drive. Not 3/8 drive, not half drive. Maybe those will come in the future, particularly if this does well. But it's essentially the exact same setup. It's just instead of that being an open, end that will accept your bits, this will take on a socket. All right, so same price, $72.50. It's got the spinning sleeve. That's going to be this black piece here. And if we take a look, read about it, 411RA T-handle adapter screwdriver with ratchet function. Integrated ratchet with fine toothing ensures fast and safe working. There is a reversing lever, going to be in the same location, for comfortable clockwise, counterclockwise direction change. Convenient working thanks to the ratchet mechanism fully embedded in the handle. There is an ergonomic 2-component handle. Now basically, again, it's even got the same overall length, 45mm, or just right over 1 3/4 of an inch. So I know it's something of you are thinking. If you're thinking smart, you're like, do I want to buy this and get a bit adapter, or do I want to buy this and get a quarter to quarter square drive adapter? I'm not sure what to tell you. I almost think the more safe way to go would be to buy this one and then put your bit holder of choice. Like if you've got a quarter drive spinner handle, obviously you've got to adapt that to the bits that you want to run. Take that, throw it on here. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be like a personal decision for you to make, unless you want them both and you want to do this. So, note, these are also in stock. If you're sitting here and you're thinking like, man, I wish that came, obviously if you're going right here, you're not concerned about the bits at all. You're not even thinking about it. You're like, I cannot wait to put sockets on the end of this. Well, starting with the Imperial or the SAE stuff, 9-piece set. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 8 sockets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously 5 is here. There's our other 3 for 8 and the case. So what are we doing? We're getting 3/16, 7/32, quarter, 9/32, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16 and a half. Funny story. I think I finally found something that's a 9/32. It's vent and filler. It's either like 7mm or 9/32. It's not quarter and it's not 5/16. That's what I know. So I'm not quite sure if it's, I can't see like a maker's mark or anything, so I don't know what it's supposed to be, but all these years I'm like, well, that's a waste. Well, I think I finally found something where I could use that. So this is basically like a nut driver in a textile case, and it's a ratcheting function T-handle. Now, there's a lot of times when I'm using T-handles that I want like a slightly longer reach than that. That's just me. But especially like, what's the overall length on this? What does it tell us? Doesn't tell us. So right here, it was going to be, they still claim that's 177. I wonder if that's a little longer than that. Basically, like, there's points in time where like I have to have, the hex shaft extend to clear obstruction so I can actually use the T-handle. You can't just like chop off an Allen, and put an adapter. I mean, you could make a custom tool, but you sit there and you start hacksawing through your S2 tool steel, and never want to do it again. So I kind of wonder if the length on this is a little bit longer than that. Don't know. That said, we're going up $50 from $72.50 to $122.50, and you're getting 8 sockets. Not a terrible deal, but again, if you've got spare sockets, or you're just like, hey, I'm just going to throw some cheap sockets, then Wera sockets are not very expensive. These will also, I don't care what this says, any of their sockets are going to be Taiwan. Like I've covered, they're pretty nice, but it's not like you're getting a German or a Czech socket. Factor that in, if you want to go this route. But that's a pretty comprehensive little nut driver set. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, I don't use fractional, moron. Well, here you go. This is your metric stuff. Same deal, you spend an extra $50. You're going to get a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Again, that is a pretty comprehensive little metric setup there. And again, the selling point, you're getting it with a ratcheting T-handle. So sadly it stops there. It doesn't look like you could easily add on more if you were like, oh, I wish this had a 14, and oh, if it had like a 5.5 or 5 or something. But again, like if you don't ever use a 7, like take that off, put the 6 here and put your smaller socket there. Same thing if you never use an 11 or a 12, ditch that thing and have a 13 and a 14. So, do what you need to do to make it functional for you. Coming in now, what I want to do is, this is Wera's official site. I'm just going to kind of skim you through this stuff. So this is what we looked at. This is, I think, probably what people would be the most excited about. I don't know that for sure. Let me know your thoughts. But you can see that. Here's the set with the sockets in the shaft. This little shaft right here, if that was available as a standalone part, you know what I would do? I would buy this guy standalone, and I would get that thing, and then any 89mm bits I wanted, I plug them in, or I buy them standalone if I don't already have them. And then if I can get access to that dude right there to plug into that ratcheting T-handle, and that would then let me you almost need this in your hands to really figure it out. But it's almost a shame, really, which I know you couldn't do it with quarter and quarter, but it's almost a shame that like this doesn't have the ability to hold, or come with an adapter. But then, no one would buy both of them. They would just probably get like one, in the adapter. But that's probably what most people are going to do anyway. I don't know. Lots of schools of thought to follow there. Coming in, you can see the bicycle deal. We've got the torque wrenches. Again, my apologies for not covering that, but if you want me to in greater detail or something, I can do it. Those will be farther out. Now, some of this stuff is in stock right now, and it'll sell out, and probably you'll have to wait until early October, which is only like 2 weeks away, let's be honest here. But this is like the one item, if you're super intrigued by it, that you would have to currently wait on in every way, shape, and form. Now, right here, there these guys are. They're pretty cool. There's a standalone tool, and this is what I wanted you to see. This is why I had this open, and this is why I do believe KC Tool will eventually, as soon as they have time, have this stuff available for you. Now, I don't know if there's going to be in stock. You might have to wait. Like, you buy that Impact Driver standalone right now, you might wind up waiting until early October to get your bits. But they should be available standalone, because this is something that was not in Wera's catalog. You couldn't come in and buy these. That's why they're included here in the new products deal and not just like linked from this product. So right there, you know, like this would be a number 2. This would be your T25. This would be... Do people frequently use an impact driver on Torx? Torx doesn't typically round out for me. That's kind of the selling point of it. But I'm sure if you use it a lot or you just constantly reuse them, that's probably just a matter of time. But that's an interesting thing there. There's your Phillips, there's your Posi, there's your Hex Plus, which is also, again, like I said, really cool. They're using the Hex Plus drive there. And so I'm sure other bits will be available here as well. And then I wonder if they have that thing standalone. I'm talking about a little adapter guy. Not sure they do. Now, this is something, I don't know that this is on the website at KC Tool yet. I think I saw it somewhere. Is it down here? No, I think I've seen it. This is new. Derek was actually looking at one of these, you know, preferably, I think, unpopulated. And I'm not sure if this is the same or different, but it's back. This was the big KC Tool Haul giveaway item type of a thing. Not sure on the contents, but it's a Wera tool trolley, essentially is what it is. And I think... equipped with foam inserts and tools, yeah. Some of you might actually be in the market for this if it didn't come with the tools, because you already have the tools type of a thing. Then right here, check this out. I don't know if this was new or it's just new, and like not brand new, but new. All you foam people, this is something you might be interested in there. Long T-handles with holding functions. So lots of foam stuff. If you were oblivious to this stuff, well, there you go. You kind of have it covered. Jokers, if you don't like the textile case and you want it in your toolbox, like I'm never going to take these out, but I love them in the shop. There's a foam case. Hopefully the foam becomes available standalone. That would be super cool. I don't have any insights on that right now. Does that look familiar? Those aren't Wera pliers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know they had a file set. Okay, it's for, okay, well, I wonder what the price is on that. Insulated jokers, I think, were also new. Some of you, obviously, in the electrical trades might be super interested in that. I think they have a longer lead time. Don't hold me to it, but I think that they do. 30-piece bit check for Christmas, eh? Well, that's interesting. You might just have to do that. I didn't scroll down this far. My apologies. Here's a VDE set for Christmas. Okay, hey. Didn't know I was going to wind up having to do this. But here we go. Real quick, we're going to run through this just because I literally didn't know this was here. Bit checks by Wera, extremely compact. And, so you got your basic bit check. I want to know what the bits are. 29 bits, Phillips, Posi drive, and Torx. So this is a deal. If you missed out on the advent calendar, more on that shortly, this is something you could pick up, and it's actually pretty dadgum functional. Yeah, I won't spend a ton of time on it because, again, I don't want to like spoil things for you. Too bad. Right here again, if you missed on the advent calendar, or if like you're the super cool wife trying to like get stuff for your husband or boyfriend or something, and you're like, oh no, it's sold out. Take heart, this stuff might become available for you. I don't know if this is like going to be a Europe only deal, or maybe it's going to show up, like closer to Black Friday. Who knows? We are within 100 days of Christmas. That's why you saw this. from Knipex, and this, which is the Wera Advent Calendar. And if you wanted this from KC Tool, as best I understand it right now, this stuff is gone and is not coming back. Okay, that's why I said if you're kind of bummed that you missed out on this, hey, you know, bit check and this thing would that'd be a pretty solid consolation in my opinion. Plus some of this new stuff, you know, it doesn't have to be Advent Calendar. But if you were unaware, this is kind of what's included in the Advent Calendar this year. We'll just go to this overarching set. Honestly, the thing I'm the most excited about, aside from the Christmassy themed pop-out driver, would honestly be the wrench holder. Okay, these are double open-ended wrenches, but the wrench holder is kind of cool. So you get a little Christmas themed bit check with the tree, and then you get the red and the green there. So collectors, and it actually, if you don't have one of these, it actually is pretty functional as well. But I won't spoil it in case some of you have it, or it's the link. You can find it if you want to know what's inside. And then this is kind of the throw-in. We had a little Knipex, and we're going to end with some Hazet. Now, I specifically am fine with this. I could get images. I've seen the images. I know what it looks like. This won't spoil it too bad for you. I'm just going to tell you what's included. This is not out of stock. Note that it's considerably more money than the Wera, which is why Wera's always sells. Stavilla, sadly, I can tell you, is not going to have a standalone Advent Calendar. I was pestering Colin about that. They did there towards the end. I remember seeing German Tool reviews open them, and you kind of got, in my opinion, really good bang for the buck with the Stavilla ones. They didn't do gimmicky stuff. They did legit tool sets. We got in on one or two of them, and then them and NWS kind of do the Knipex route, where there's sort of a special package deal of tools. It's not like anything open this every day type of deal, but yeah, you get a good value. This right here is not going to be for everyone, but basically your selling point is right here. It's going to be a 44-piece bit set, but it's got a rechargeable screwdriver. So it's lithium ion. It's going to come with a USB cable. You get a crud ton of bits. Sadly, no Phillips. Ooh, that's a buzzkill. Kind of banking on that. I haven't actually read the details on the bits. Oh wait, never mind. You do 1, 2, and 3. I just saw posi drive written twice, and I was like, no. So 25 and then 50, so you get some longer reach ones, if you will. And they claim a 3 to 5 hour runtime. It's got a max torque of 4.5 newton meters and it's 180 RPM. It actually looks really cool. It's in Hazet colors, but again, I know some of you actually get this stuff and literally wait until December 1st to go to town on it. So that's what I'll leave it as, and I'm going to end this video because I've got to edit it and upload it, which with my internet, we'll be lucky if this is even ready by 9 in the morning. I may not do timestamps, and if I don't, I apologize, but it's because I'm tired. I got swamped with mosquitoes. There I was outside, it was getting dark on me. I'm cleaning parts for the truck, and kind of got slowed down and got a late start, and I'm like, no big deal, the wind was dying off, and that's the most mosquitoes I have seen in forever. You think of a rectangular panel on your garage door. I kid you not, I counted 18 of them. And why I stood there and counted them, I don't know, but I did, and there were 18. And they were swarming me, and I quickly threw everything in. I sprayed my cleaning solution, to kind of make a gateway so I could try to get the sawhorses shoved in. And I threw them in there, and that was the end of my night. And I came in and had peanut butter and jelly. And then I basically zoned out in a chair for 45 minutes, and I started this. So that's where we're at. And there we are. Again, I'm thinking you'll see some more stuff, kind of not huge items, but the finite pieces, bits and whatnot. What I want to know from you, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are you going to bring in? What would you like to bring in, but you got to wait for? What are you going to, wait and kind of maybe see videos on and feel out, get other people's thoughts before you sink in your hard-earned cash? Like I said, I'm very tempted here. I can't, if I were to buy this right now, which I could do, I wouldn't have any of the bits unless they have some, which I don't know if they do. That's a tough call, and I get some pretty good prices on Proto, I'm not gonna lie. The Proto one's a super traditional, just like you've always seen, black metal casing. A lot of people think those are made overseas. I believe they're still America. And then the Koken one, can't remember the prices. I think foamed out with sockets and bits. It's probably around the 137.50, maybe less. Might be able to swing a better price on it. So this was literally something that if I would have had more free time in my life, I probably would have already ordered the Proto or the Koken. I've been real busy here lately. This one, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to bring in the bike set. Let's see. These two, I just don't know. I don't know which route to go. It's a very tough call. I feel like you only need one of them to start with, and then if you love it, you would expand to the other one. I almost think it's easier to buy this one and put your bit adapter on it than it would be to buy this one and put a socket on the end of it. Plus, you have a slimmer profile here, and that just looks longer to me. Maybe it's not. I mean, it very well could not be. Maybe it's just since this tapers down and has the chuck, the rapid adapter, and this one's just a smooth shaft, it just gives that illusion to me. But I kind of think this would be the most bang for the buck for me and what I would do. Then these guys coming, where are they? Yeah. The saddest thing, like, I would love to not spend an extra $7.50 and be rewarded with a case, an adapter, and 3 sockets. I may have to email. And again, I'm doing this. It's after midnight now. I'm just showing you what I see here. So that very well could change. It could have been like an entering error. Like, I mean, they obviously had to crank this out and they're in a hurry because they want you to be able to get it right. Or it could be totally accurate. You know, it might just be something Wera, like, you know, say, hey, you know, liquidate these, or, you know, put a great introductory price on this set. I don't know. That's something I cannot pester Colin. It's I guess I technically could. Yeah, I don't know, but man, yeah, this is some interesting stuff. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna wrap this up. It's probably way longer than I wanted it to be. But if there's anything here that you want me to bring in, I kind of have a rough idea of what I want to do, but I'm open to suggestions and opinions. I know a lot of you rely on me to throw my money away so you don't have to. And, yeah, I'm sitting here, my mind's been racing trying to figure it all out. So I also need to check tool of the day. Let's do that now, shall we? We'll find out together. This is what I do every night, by the way. Oh, okay, keychain. So if you order today and you've always wanted this, you're not saving a ton of money. It's really rare that anytime you see Stabila here that it's like discounted, you know. But that's a pretty cool keychain for $3, and it is, I think, actually functional. So you can throw that on, you know, like maybe I always tell you about this, okay? So if you come in and you buy this, you get free shipping, okay? Where are they? Right here. If you were to buy this guy right here, you would be an absolute idiot if you spend $72.50 and you're $2.50 away from free shipping and you don't tack something. I don't care if it's a bit, a socket, a screwdriver. Good Lord, I've got 70 plus tool hauls for you to go find something from. A pin, you'd have to actually get several pins. Like, if you're that close to free freight, please get yourself something sub $5 and it will be less than you would pay in freight. In the case of tool of the day, if this appeals to you, you're covered. So, like, if that's literally what you wanted, was a $72.50 item, throw on the keychain, throw on a bit, do something for yourself and save money in the long run. I stress that. That's literally, like, if I decide to buy this right now, if it's the one piece, I'm like, I gotta have that coming. If I do that, I promise you I'm going to do the same thing. And in this case, I'd probably throw the tool of the day on because it's kind of cool and it gets me free freight. So you don't have to spend over $100, and that gets you the sticker pack, okay? But free freight is where you save money, and that's what you want to do for yourself. So this totally does it. You only go over by 49 cents, but by gosh, you made it. And that saves you money in the long run. So on that front, hey, I got to go figure out what I'm going to do. So I'll get this thing edited and uploaded again. It always amazes me that people watch people go through flyers, whether it's a tool truck or Harbor Freight or Amazon. I've noticed recently people watch those like consistently, always. Like, you could have a guy do some crazy cool tools, you know, like he brings in all the snap-on crud, some estate sale finds, all in one video. and he can then upload something from Amazon, like looking at the website of Amazon, and that gets more views. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. To me, I don't need someone to, like, if it's Super Mac fanboy #1 in the world and he has insights on everything in the flyer, yeah, you can get some value out of that. Same thing if it's, I could go through Harbor Freight's flyers and I could probably be a pretty valuable source of information. Like, hey, I've used this. This sucks. This is actually really good. This is a great price. This is a really good tool, but you're not saving very much on it. Wait for a keep. That stuff I get. But so many times these videos are just people flipping through the flyer with no insight for you. And I don't know what you gain by that aside from wasting your time, because you could have looked through the same flyer, learned nothing, but had your thoughts to yourself in fractions of the time. So this, I'm fine doing it because this crud is new. I feel bad in the sense that, like, I can't tell you, like, oh, you know, the ergonomics on this aren't very good. I don't know. It's brand new. I've never held it. Same thing over here. You know, like, is this going to be the clunkiest thing in humanity, or is it the greatest multi-tool man has ever seen? I don't know. So right now, it's just I wanted to get this out here for you. You're aware of it. Some of you can catch this stuff on the initial shipment. Some of you can get your orders in so it comes early October to you. That was the end goal of this video. Show you what's available, give you a little insight, walk through on it, and that's all I can honestly do right now. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. I'll probably stick you some Harbor Freight tool haul or something, because I need to release a bunch of those because I have so many items from there that tie in with other videos, like storage. We're still doing the storage and organization. It's just like, if I release those, then I spoil like a tool haul 10 in the future. So, you know, that's where we stand. And, you know, if I get this stuff, I'm totally not going to lie, I'm probably going to expedite it. So if I buy this thing right now, the page that we're sitting on, you're going to see that video sooner rather than later, because again, if I were to wait, you might not see this video until February of 2023. And by that point in time, it's not super useful to sort of like the niche audience that I tend to cater to. So I do factor that stuff in. There's so many things that I've done that are like super cool, and they're so far out in the future. And I have to like think, like, when I film somewhere, I'm like, oh no, I can't have that in the frame. That's there. Like, hey, if I use this, I haven't introduced it yet. And there's also a lot of tools I brought in that I've not made videos on that are absolutely like trashed and filthy now, and I'm gonna have to try to clean them so they don't look like junk when we do the video. But anyway, none of that's super important to you. What matters was what was at the start. That's why we did it. And I'm going to get this thing edited, rendered, and start uploading it. So hopefully it's ready for you at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you didn't know, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 9 a.m., that's the goal. I've also got so many RAM Revival videos coming. If you can, if you're still here, let me know your thoughts. If you want to see those like staggered, where we do like Wednesday tool haul or organization and then RAM Revival the next Wednesday, or if you're just like, man, you know what, just crank out the RAM Revival. Open to opinions there. Again, I've got everything ready to go. I just have to schedule one or the other. So let me know your thoughts, and hopefully you appreciate me staying up late with you. I'll leave it at that. So the biggest thing I want to know from you, what are you excited about? What interests you? What are you worried about? Are you going to plop down right now, order some things you're putting on your wish list or Christmas list? Like I said, we're within 100 days of Christmas, believe it or not. The mosquitoes would have me believe otherwise, but hey, it is what it is. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Once again, everything is here. I'll just link direct to like the KC Tool Wera page. I'll try to remember to at least put the links to. I'm still not an affiliate, so I'm still not making anything off of any of this. I just do this out of the goodness of my heart. I'm the gift that keeps on giving. So end goal, I want you to be aware of what's new. I want you to be able to get what's new when it's available, and I want you to ultimately save money and enjoy the tools that you get. So if I accomplish that, hey, that's the gift in and of itself. If you want to thank me, you can tell other people about the channel. You can subscribe. You can interact. Again, tell me like, hey, you know, I ordered that thing, you know, as soon as the email came in. Can't wait to get it. Or, man, you know, I just know that's going to be a piece of junk. Or I bought it because it looks like a Coke bottle. Whatever your logic is, feel free to throw it down below. Same thing, if you buy the impact drive or it shows up for you Friday, you get it out there, you're using it Saturday morning, come in, leave a comment, tell people like, man, this thing is legit, or man, you know, this thing feels really good, but it doesn't rotate well for me, don't know what the deal is. First-hand experience is invaluable and stuff like this. That's the best source of information people can have prior to a purchase. So with that said, thanks for watching. I hope I catch you back here Saturday, and I gotta go. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the weekend.